I'm smiling only because this is the first time I've had people live in studio. Thank you, everyone, for joining. My name is Michael Wardy, Certified Financial Planner and Senior Strategic Director at Source Advisors, and welcome to Showcase Broadcast Studios. I have with me Tami and Debbie.
Hey, Michael.
Hi, Michael.
We're so happy to be here.
I love it. So today's topic is all about real estate. Should we stick with just the Chicagoland market? Can we go outside?
I think stick with the Chicagoland market because that's our expertise.
But we can touch on what's going on nationally too. We can just, touch on it.
Okay.
Because people are, there are people that are watching from all over the country.
True.
All over the world.
All over the world. So yeah, we can touch on it.
LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube.
Wow.
We are all over the world.
Wow.
So welcome to the world.
Now you've just made us nervous.
Don't be nervous. Everyone seems to be
Debbie
nice.
doesn't get nervous.
Yeah.
Good. If you do have questions, go ahead and post those. And as we see them popping up, we will try to get to them. If we don't get to them, we're not ignoring you. We will just get to those, or Tami and Debbie will get to those afterwards. So just to start out with, you both didn't start your careers in real estate, did you?
No, I'm going to let Tami go first.
Tami, you get to go first.
I actually started my career in the law field as a lawyer, and then I had a head lice removal business, and then I sold it, and then I decided I wanted to be a therapist, so I decided real esate was the way to go.
Was that therapy for you or for clients or for a little bit of both?
I love talking to people, and I think I give good advice because they keep coming back for more, and so I figured I love houses. I love interior design. And so I figured mesh them both together and and I definitely am a therapist because buying a house is probably the biggest purchase of one's lifetime, starting with, inexperienced buyers all the way to experienced buyers who are buying in such big brackets that it makes them nervous. So
that's understandable.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm on call 24/7.
Be careful what you say.
Yes, we are. We are.
All right. It's official.
It's official.
It's documented.
My first text every morning is at 5:45
to me.
Oh,
or
from
me.
me. Yeah.
Or from me, right.
To or from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Debbie, what about you?
So I started out my career in the advertising business. I worked for a few of the largest agencies in the city of Chicago. I was in account management. And when I had a baby, my life changed a lot. So I retired, and I as well started my own business, which is how Tami and I met. I had a company called Fairy Tale Wishes, and I was actually on Shark Tank about 9.5 years ago, and which was really fun. Great experience. Tremendous as an entrepreneur. And
wait, were you on TV?
Yes. I was on TV.
You can Google it.
You could Google me.
All right. For those that want to learn more,
yes.
Google Shark Tank.
Google Shark Tank. Debbie Glickman. Yes. Yeah. Fairy Tale Wishes.
Very good.
And so that's how I met Tami originally, because we always used to meet and kind of brainstorm on our businesses. Both of our businesses were geared towards children. And we always had a really nice rapport. And I've always loved homes. And when I was thinking about getting back into the workforce, I was thinking, well, I could go back to advertising, or I could do something really fun that I love. And so what I do is very similar to what I did in real estate. I mean, in advertising, in that I'm kind of the quarterback of the team. I was in account service. I was a VP account director. So kind of have your hands in everything. So it's just a different form of what I used to do. I feel like I've been trained to do this my whole life, and I love it. Yeah. And to touch on what Tami said about therapy, my father was in advertising before he retired. He had a big ad agency, so I kind of followed in his footsteps. And my mother is a therapist.
Oh, so perfect.
So
there you go.
I have combined my love of marketing and my my therapy through osmosis to kind of be that, therapist.
I love it. I apologize. I was not being rude, by the way. I'm getting text messages with questions.
Oh, good.
So
okay,
people
good.
that are online are asking questions.
Terrific.
They weren't able to stream through their device, so they're texting me. So
Great.
we'll get to some of those questions.
Terrific.
So
oh my God, people are listening. Hello, everybody.
See,
hi, everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good.
You're at Properties.
Yes.
And I know there's several groups, agencies, firms, brokers, thank you, that are out there.
Yeah.
How did you both end up at Properties versus others?
So I'll start because I came directly to At Properties. Debbie went via somewhere else. At Properties was just kind of everywhere. It started, I had an At Properties agent in the city that sold my house. And, you know, you see Coldwell Banker and Baird and Warner and all these other agencies, but At Properties really had a presence. Like everywhere I looked, I saw At Properties. And so I went and I interviewed, and the woman who interviewed me was amazing. And she had this vibrant personality, and she was like fresh and fun. And I was like, this is the kind of environment I want to be in. I knew quite a few people that already worked in the office. And At Properties just has a reputation of having an incredibly vibrant sort of environment, but more so the owners are just, their goal is to make their agents' lives as easy and uncomplex as possible. And they just provide so much positive reinforcement. Like when things are down, they are up. Like they just, they never let anything, you know, like when the market's tough, they somehow spin it to make us feel like, you know, you've really got this. And so I just think it's an amazing company to work for. And I am very, very happy that I'm here, and very happy. And there was a hiccup where I was thinking of switching because I was recruited somewhere.
Yeah.
And
I talked her out of it.
She talked me out of it. And even, you know, the owner of At Properties called me and was like, you know, everyone loves you here, stay. And, you know, he really like gave me his pep talk was such an amazing, like, who was I? Like, you know, he's got 3,000 agents, and it just was really cool. And so
That's impressive.
I'm thrilled beyond belief that I stayed. It's an incredible company.
And I know that when your life is from a professional standpoint, and when the owners are encouraging you and supporting you, that conveys back to your clients.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Yeah. And they don't feel the pressure. They don't feel like, oh my gosh, Tami keeps calling or Debbie keeps calling me trying to sell me something. It's the owners are not pushing you, so you're not pushing them.
Right.
There isn't one time that I've reached out to like upper management where I haven't gotten a call back and like they've held my hand and walked me through like if I'm in a sticky situation, or if I have I had a crazy client once and I needed to call legal, and they handled the whole thing. They were like, don't worry, you know, because there's so many laws that you know, you have to be careful not to break. So they were amazing.
You have this,
no, really.
You
like,
have this support staff behind you.
An amazing support staff. IT is amazing. Marketing is amazing. Accounting is amazing. Like they're just, you email them and you get a response.
They're
like,
the wizards behind the
amazing.
curtain.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So you feel like you have,
right.
you feel like you have, like I feel like I have my own business because they make you feel that way.
You do have your own
in the
business.
sense of like my back staff.
Right.
You know, they're really, it's just, you know, I'm an IC. Independent contractor.
You
That's
are
beautiful.
Okay.
My story is a little different. I started out at another brokerage and was trained there, and you know they were lovely, lovely people. With that being said, I was always kind of looking down the street, saying, "God, At Properties marketing is just top notch," and I'm a marketer. I mean, that's my background, and so the same woman. We're going to say her name. Her name's Amy Core.
Okay.
Called me as well, and I sat and met with her, and she's an unbelievable force in our company, and she's just a great coach. And so she and I talked, and I just have never looked back. And so my funny story about the owners is that Thad and Mike were mine and my husband's brokers in the city.
Oh.
Before they formed At Properties, when we sold our first property, and then we were amongst their first clients when they started At Properties in Bucktown. And just for the record, they sold our house and both of our houses in one day.
Oh
so Thad, when I was being recruited, Thad called me and you know said, I don't understand. Why aren't you here? So it was kind of like,
who's the guy?
Thad Wong is our one of our co-founders, Thad Wong and Mike Golden. And you know, the other piece of this company, other than the superior marketing and technology, there's a couple things. One is Mike and Thad were agents at one time. And so we are being led by people who know what agents want, what agents need. And conversely, they know what consumers want and what consumers need. And so they're able to lead us that way.
Okay.
And they're funny.
Yeah, they are funny.
They're
But-
funny, and they give out great
Right,
raffle
right.
prizes, and they just make it
But-
fun.
But the other piece, which was equally important to me, is that they truly lead with love.
Mhm.
The whole upper management staff at like we are a company that is all about love.
Mhm.
They love us as their agents. They encourage us to, be very good citizens within the real estate community, be that agent.
And their slogan is love.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So
It's
you
warm.
spoke longer than me. She's
No, I
she's
didn't.
nudging
I
me
just
under the
nudged her.
table.
No, well,
Yeah.
I did not. Did
Uh-huh.
I?
Yeah, you did.
I'm
You
not
did.
saying I'm at
I love
arm's
her. Yeah.
arm's length, both of you, and
She's
either one of you can
she's-
whack me. So
she's
I
I'm
don't
nudging me.
actually looking
Yeah.
at the number of questions
Yeah.
you have left,
Yeah.
and thinking that I have a
Oh,
showing.
I haven't even
Yeah.
paid
and
attention
thinking that
to
I have
that.
a showing at 11:45.
I haven't even paid
It's all
attention.
good.
I'm going
It's all
beyond
good.
this
Right,
list that
right,
we put
right.
together already.
Well, so that's kind of the reason that I joined and I love it. I just love it. It's a great place to work.
So thank you
You-
for sharing
yes.
that, both. You partnered up.
Yeah.
And that's going well.
Yes.
Yeah.
You made the announcement at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
We
I
did.
think I remember
Mhm.
Yeah.
seeing the announcement come
Mhm.
through. Very exciting. Why are brokers, agents building these partnerships now? What is this a theme? Is this a strategy globally, even, or within at properties? Is the idea to encourage groups to be formed?
I've done both. I've been
Mhm.
on my own, and I had a partner when I worked at my other brokerage that
Mhm.
left me and moved to Austin. She's phenomenal.
Mhm.
And real estate can really be very lonely because while we work in an office that's very collaborative,
Mhm.
you're still alone in
Mhm.
what you do. And so when you have a partner to bounce ideas off of, to
Celebrate
to,
milestones
to
or like
celebrate
anything.
if there's issues, to just kind of bounce it off of each other, to be able to have a life when you go out of town, to have somebody to cover for you.
If people go out of town, I know
and
not many people go out on vacations. but
This
when they-
one is, she's
This has been a
yeah.
year. I'm turning 50.
Yeah,
This has been my
so-
50th year
but
of me.
but the fact is that Tami can go to where she's going, and she knows that I'm here and can pretty much handle anything that comes our way. So
Yeah.
it's a comfort thing as well, and you get two brains
Right.
for the
Mhm.
price
And
of
to
one.
answer your question about is this like a nationwide thing? It is. You'll see like tons of people advertising themselves as teams.
Mhm.
And part of the point is that as you grow your team, you can grow your marketing, you can grow your name, you can,
Mhm.
and the benefit to someone joining a team like us is that we're experienced and we're happy to handhold and show people what to do and how to build their business, because ultimately, even though you're on a team, you're still building your own business. So
Right.
You're still building your name and your clientele. And there are some huge teams that might feed people leads, but most teams you're building your own. And I think it's just a great way for a young broker or a new broker. I started out on a team and it was great, and then they decided to move to another brokerage, and I decided to stay
You
at
stayed.
that. And I learned a lot from them, and it was great. And then I was on my own for a while, and I loved it actually. But it kind of gets lonely. And Debbie and I just have the same work ethic and the same values and the same our way of negotiating, and our thought process is so similar that it kind of was like a no-brainer.
It was
like,
a no-brainer.
I wouldn't have just joined somebody just to have a team. Like it
Right.
needed to be someone who you can really, who you work parallel with, and you guys just.
And it really happened very organically
Mhm.
because, Tami was a newer broker when she joined and, she would call me for advice and that kind of stuff. And so it just kind of organically grew into something that, and listen, I call her my work wife because truly, like, we must talk 50, 60 times a day, no joke, about
Not surprised.
everything.
But good things and bad. Like I'll get
Right.
be like, oh my God, I got this.
Right.
And I got
And
that.
it's just, it's just nice to have, that person. Yeah.
So is Ant Property, they're encouraging it, obviously. Are they feeding new brokers to you to say, can you bring them into your
No.
team?
No.
It's you decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I would encourage anybody who is in real estate trying to join a team
Mhm.
to make sure that the team that you join is going to be committed to
Mhm.
helping
teaching
you,
Yeah.
learn this business, because it's extremely complicated.
Yeah.
And, if you're joining a team just to be a part of a team and not to get the, the help
Mhm.
and the tutelage that
Yeah.
it requires, listen, that's part of what I love too, is
Yeah.
I love to be able to teach others about real estate, as
That's
Tami
great.
will tell you.
Thankfully.
No, but she's
Yeah.
good. She knows her stuff. And no, I don't think
Thank you for not
I don't
swearing.
think any I don't think any brokerage encourages teams, but I think it's great. But there are teams that just want to grow and grow and grow, and like then you kind of get lost at the bottom if you're
Yeah.
so you really need to know that someone's gonna give you the time of day and be able to call you if you're working on a deal at 10 p.m. Is somebody going to answer your questions?
I will not be
I
answering
will.
at 10.
She
but
she
Tami
goes to
will.
bed, but I'm up late.
But I'm
All
up
right.
at
So
5.
for those
Yeah.
after 10 o'clock, get in touch with Tammy. Before 5 a.m.,
Yeah.
call Debbie. That's kind of how
no,
we're going.
between five.
Yeah. Although
she wakes up.
she's
early.
she saw me confirm
An appointment
appointment
today.
at 3:15 this morning.
Uh.
I was up. I know. I'm a
That's
little
a bit
bit.
early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the real estate market.
Yeah.
I want to hear about this.
Yes.
A lot of development.
Yeah.
A lot of building, a lot of turnover, people buying, selling, transitioning, people going from being empty nesters, smaller houses,
Right.
condos. Do you see it continuing on this? I mean, it's never going to continue forever. We're going to go through the cycles like normal. Where are we in the cycle? What do you see?
So my feeling is, and this is kind of how I've been talking about our local micro market,
Mhm.
is that there's a squeeze play going on.
And where are we look? We're in the North
We're
Shore.
in the North Shore
of
of
Chicago.
Chicago.
Right.
And it's really basically in our whole Chicago market. But here's where the squeeze play is happening. So rates, as everybody knows, have more than doubled from a year ago. So the people that are currently renting in the city, that want to move up to the suburbs and find their suburban first home,
Mhm.
there is such a lack of inventory that what is happening is that people are getting squeezed out of that first time home buyer market, because the people that are in their starter homes, unless they have to move, are like, we can live here for a couple more years, because to give up their 2.5% rate to buy something else and now be at a 7% rate, people are holding off. So until the rates kind of come down and stabilize a little bit and people feel more comfortable making that move and we get more inventory, this particular market is going to have that squeeze play. Okay.
And I think that is going on nationwide.
Okay.
I have I have friends who are real estate agents in Arizona, Florida, California, and it's happening. And the market since COVID has actually been outrageous. So I think COVID changed everything, where everybody started trying to get out of the city because I think people were claustrophobic.
Yeah.
And nobody saw an end in sight of this staying at home situation. And now I think companies have said, well, you know what? It's costing us a lot less money to have people stay at home. We don't need the brick and mortar building office. And so many people are now staying at home that more people are trying to move because they need offices. I have people that are moving that say, I need a 5-bedroom because we both work from home, or we need a 4-bedroom with a finished basement because one of us needs an office upstairs, one needs in the basement. And so I think that this is going to continue, again, supply and demand, until there's more supply. The demand is going to be great. As soon as there's more supply, the demand will still be there, but it will, it'll dissipate a little bit. But I think COVID changed things, and things were nuts, and people were like selling and moving, and then people were moving to Florida and to
the
warm
rates
climates,
were still low at that
and rates
point.
were low, and so a lot of people that were like, well, I can work from home forever, I'm going to move to a warm climate then, or and so I think that's when there was a ton of stuff, and houses were flying off the market. Now people still want to move, but they're not. But it's just, and a lot of people that she was talking about the squeeze out. The biggest thing we're seeing right now is multiple offers, lots and lots of multiple offers, and and there are cash buyers out there, and cash, unfortunately, is king, and it wins a lot. Not always, not always, because some people,
Would
you know,
rather have
will
the price,
would
right?
yeah would
Mhm.
rather, but cash is king, and so I mean, people are, I have buyers that are losing to cash buyers, and if you don't have the cash, you don't have the cash. It's not
Right.
like you can magically come up
Right.
with it. And so I think that is, but we're also seeing a lot of people houses will go into contract in 2 seconds and then be reactivated 3 or 4 days later because
People are so concerned about winning.
people are so consumed with winning the deal that they
Mhm.
like will throw the whole kitchen sink in and then be like, oh my God, what did I
do?
do? And then they get cold feet and pull out. So it's a
So
really,
they'll go through, they'll make the offer.
and
It'll
they'll say,
be
we'll waive the
inflated.
appraisal, we'll waive the appraisal gap, we'll waive inspection, we'll buy it as is, we'll do all these things that like make your deal look like, oh my God, it's the best
Yeah.
deal out there. How
Yeah.
can we? And then they go to sleep and they both wake up and look at each other like, we
And
just
this is on
waived
the buyer's side. They're saying all this.
right.
Okay.
Right. Because
Okay.
it's a seller's market
Right.
now because of the inventory, the lack of inventory. So yeah. So then they wake up
And how do we know that it's a buyer's market versus a seller's market? So we look at what's called an MSI, or a month supply of inventory
Mhm.
number in each micro market around here, and they're all, so the lower the month supply right now, I think we're like the average is 1.6 months of inventory. That is clearly very strong seller market.
Okay.
Anything above 5 is considered to be more of a seller's market.
Buyer's market.
Or a buyer's
Okay.
market. I apologize. And then right in the middle, like right around 4 or 5 months supply of inventory, it's very balanced. And so it's kind of, that's the ultimate goal, is to get month supply of inventory around that balanced area of 4 to 5 months of supply.
Are you seeing more empty nesters selling? Are we seeing an uptick in that?
We're seeing a lot of empty nesters looking for people. I mean, if we
Ranches.
could find a big, if
Yeah.
Debbie and I could invest in a massive piece of property and just build
ranches,
we'd be millionaires.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's people want. They
That's
want,
what everybody
but
wants.
and
Makes
everybody
sense.
wants them with a basement because they want the storage. If you're moving from a
Mhm.
huge house, it's like it's a lot to take in to move into
Right.
to a small. We're also seeing a lot of rentals, like people are building developments or building rentals.
Yeah.
Like it just around in our backyard, there's three buildings,
But they're very high end rentals.
and they're very expensive. And if you think about
Mhm.
renting for that much money, it's like in my opinion,
It's a wash
You're
almost.
throwing,
Yeah.
well, you're throwing
Well,
money
yeah.
away because you're selling your house and then you're using any profit you
Yeah.
made to
Yeah.
rent.
to pay somebody else's mortgage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I
So
would say,
yeah.
That doesn't
The
make
only
sense.
time I ever really recommend renting versus buying is if you're moving here from another state or another country
Mhm.
and you're
And you
not
don't know.
really sure where you want to be.
Mhm.
Maybe take a year and rent
Mhm.
and figure out the areas that you want to look in. And then it makes more sense to rent for a year and then buy in the
Yeah.
area, especially if you have kids and you want to be in a certain school district.
Yep.
To
That makes
just kind
sense.
of get a feel.
And are we seeing the same demand in downtown Chicago? Because I mean, we've seen for years the cranes and the buildings are going
Yeah.
up, and they're huge buildings. Is there still, and it's all rental?
I think Chicago. I think downtown is having it's definitely
Softer.
not. Yeah, it's definitely
Okay.
not as the supply is higher, and I think the sales are slower. I think because a lot of people are trying to get into bigger spaces,
Mhm.
and I think
And there's a lot of crime in the city
Chicago
right
politics is really
Yeah.
has kind of taken over the.
now. Mhm.
I do think that you're fresh out of college, your first time jobs. People are still looking. I don't know if they're buying or
More
renting.
rentals.
Yeah.
But I definitely think like that when I moved to Chicago, it was like the best time of my life.
Oh, so much
it was
fun.
amazing.
Oh, that's where you
Yeah.
had to be.
And
Yeah.
so I think that
So much
I
fun.
think you're seeing that, but I do think you're seeing a lot of people. The cost of living in Chicago is really high. If you
Yeah.
if you can't get your kids into certain public schools, you have to send them to private schools, and
Mhm.
so there's a lot. It's a much more complex.
It's a different lifestyle to live in the city, and
Yeah.
you have to kind of, if you're moving to the city to a single family home in Lincoln Park, you sign up for that lifestyle.
Mhm.
And so there are people that they want to be in the city. It's very diverse. It's very cultural. Our city is a wonderful, amazing city
Yeah.
that a lot of people love to live in. But and I hope that our next mayor gets the crime situation under control so that people feel more comfortable being down in the city. It's,
We're
you
not
know,
talking politics today.
no, we
That's
are not.
next week's broadcast.
That's totally fine.
We'll
I
be
just
back.
no, but you know, I
Politics
think that once
and
that
religion.
once that yeah. Oh God.
We welcome all questions,
Right,
please.
yes. But I think once that gets under control, I think the city, it's such
Yeah.
a thriving, amazing city, that people will want to move
Yeah.
back down
Yeah.
there.
and interest rates will
Mhm.
come down, and
Yeah.
that will just be that life will go back
It's
to
just the
normal.
market correcting
That's
itself.
true.
Pre-COVID
Yeah,
craziness.
right.
And we continue to live that. So one last question. Are you helping clients with rentals as well? If you have people that are coming in and are trying to, like you said, they're coming from international, out of state. Do
Mhm.
you
We
help clients with
do,
that?
and we
Okay.
do. They are not easy to find. They're very the rental market is also, the supply is very low and the
Yeah.
prices are very high. So we do for
Okay.
sure. I mean, we would help anyone
With anything.
with anything,
Okay.
and we also would help anyone in any price range, because we love we really do love what we do, and it's just fun to get to know people, and
the best. And I'm entering into my 10th year of doing this, but I've had clients who were pregnant
and then you see
and you see the kids are growing up,
Yeah.
and I'm in touch with all of they become friends. I really love all of my clients, and when I see their kids are going to middle school, I said, no, this is not happening. Not happening.
I remember when.
I remember
Mhm.
when, right. So that's like the beauty of our business,
Yeah,
is that we
for
really stay with families for their life cycle, and hopefully we've done a good enough job that they come back to us when they're ready.
And their kids will.
And their kids, exactly. So
It's beautiful.
it's really an amazingly rewarding job. I remember once my mom asked me when I first started, she's like, oh my God, you're just so excited every day. Like, why do you love this business so much? And I said, my family loves me and I know they appreciate me on some level, but when you're helping a family find their home, their first home or their
100%.
second home, there is this bond that you form, and they're so appreciative beyond belief. And it makes you feel so good when you've really helped somebody with this huge
100%,
investment.
100%.
It is.
And when they walk into a house, you know right away, like after seeing, so many houses, and when you help a seller, I love helping sellers stage their homes, like walking in and making a list of
She's
like
very good
everything
at
they
that,
have to, let's get rid of this,
The
let's get rid
honeydew
of
list.
that. Yes, it's
She's
like
very
that.
good with the honeydew list.
And also, and the crazy part is that 98% of them listen, and will do it all, and it works. It's
Mhm.
like,
No doubt. You have the
Debbie and I
experience.
have a preferred vendors list of everything from like a plumber to
A roofer to a
to
handyman.
we have everything. And so it's so helpful to sellers for us to say, I have a client who always is like, you have a guy for everything. And I'm like, because I always say, I have a guy, I have a guy, I have a guy.
Right.
It's
And
Chicago way.
so
Right.
she calls me now I found them a house. They
Right.
love it. And they actually, the preschool they sent their kids to, they called and they were like, our wait list is full. And they're like, oh, our real estate agent, Tami Levy's taught us to call this. Oh, well, hold on a sec. Let me see what we can do. And they actually got into the school using my name,
Really?
which I was
Yeah.
very chuffed by.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Wow.
but my point is that now we're friends, and she'll call me for like, anything and everything. She's like, I know you've got a guy, and I'm like, and she's like, the heating and air conditioning guy is not getting back to me. Can you do something? And I was like, sure, I'll call, because it's the guy that I referred to.
Right.
And I shoot a text, and I'm like, my client's been trying to reach you, because I refer these guys, so
Right.
they need to. And
They value the relationship.
5 minutes
For
later,
sure.
her new furnace was being installed.
Yeah.
So it's like, we
We're
create
much
these
more-
amazing relationships for our sellers.
It goes so far beyond the transaction, right?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We probably should have opened up that. We're talking about that versus towards the tail end, but that's pretty impressive.
Well, thanks,
It's actually very
Michael.
impressive.
Thank you.
Do you expect anything less from me?
No.
No.
Having known you as
Just
long as
one
I
thing.
have,
Yes.
He hasn't known
always-
me as long, but you know,
We
I've-
exceed. Our tagline
Yeah.
is what is
always
it? It's
exceeding
expectations.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah.
And there you go, everyone. Thank you
Yeah.
both for joining. Any final words before we wrap
No,
up?
do you want us to answer any of the questions or?
I think we've pretty much
Okay.
gone through, but we're at 30 minutes.
Oh,
and
okay, good.
We usually try and keep it between
Great.
18 to 24. So we've gone over a little bit.
Okay,
but
that's
okay.
good.
Oh, is
All
this
right.
like Zoom? You only get it free for 30? I'm just kidding.
No, I
Well,
did one last week or 2
listen,
weeks
thank
ago,
you
and it was
so
an hour
much.
and a half.
We're
So we
so
can keep talking.
No,
We're
no,
so appreciative
We
of you
are.
having us. And
Absolutely.
if people have questions, they can certainly reach out to us.
Where do
at
they reach you?
Glickman Levy at atproperties.com.
Glickman Levy
At
at the
at
symbol.
Yes.
at symbol atproperties.com.
There you
And
go.
that will
Or
get
you
us
can
both.
call us
And what's the number?
847-344-2857 or
847-687-4332.
There you go.
We take texts, we take phone calls, we do bar mitzvahs, weddings, you know. I'm just kidding.
Anything you need. And they
Anything
have
you
a guy
need.
for it, too.
And we have a guy. We got a guy or a
We have a
girl.
guy.
Yeah, exactly.
if you want to be on a podcast, we have a guy.
Yeah,
too.
we
yeah,
do.
there you go. Now you have a guy
We
for
do.
this.
We do.
Thank you both.
Thanks
This
for
was
having
awesome.
us. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for watching. Please share this with anybody you think that could benefit from this conversation, that's looking at real estate and they're wondering, what do I do? Who do I go to? How do I talk about this? Reach out to Tami and Debbie. They're phenomenal. And you will have a great experience.
Thanks.
Be well, everyone.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.